All right, guys, AV Watchman here. So I'm about to show you guys a video that's going to make you scratch your head and say, it truly makes sense. I hope by sharing this video, it will open your eyes much wider. Let me introduce you to a video game that is called The Division, made by Tom Clancy. I was introduced to this game some years ago, and for some reason, with everything that's going on in the world today, people running around with masks on their face, panicking, it reminded me of this video game. And the reason why it reminded me of this video game is because everything that we are going through right now is actually on this video game. How it all got started, how it began. You guys are going to trip out. I'm going to show you this game. This is Tom Clancy, The Division. And you tell me if this story sounds the same as what we are going through. You be the judge for yourself. I'm telling you, you're going to have your minds blown away by this. Who is Tom Clancy?
According to Wikipedia, Thomas Leo Clancy Jr. was an American novelist best known for his technically detailed espionage and military science storylines set during and after the Cold War.
All right, guys, so the story mode is about to begin. Pay attention. Listen carefully. As soon as you hear him say, in 2001, I want you guys to replace that with the 2019 or 2020. It's exactly what we are going through today. Check it out.
In 2001, a real-world exercise tested the emergency response to a bioterror attack on the continental United States. The operation was called Dark Winter. Within just a few days, the simulation spiraled out of control. The operation predicted a rapid breakdown in essential institutions, civil disorder, and massive civilian casualties. Dark Winter has revealed how vulnerable we've become. Our lifestyle, our security, our safety depends on a delicate and unstable economy. We've created a system so complicated that we no longer understand how to control it. Oil, power, shipping, transport. We live in a complex world. And the more complex it gets, the more fragile it becomes. The system is built on a global supply chain that gets things where they're needed, just in time. We've created a house of cards. Remove just one, and everything falls apart. And what's fueling this system?
Money. Americans can spend $90 billion in a single day of shopping. Last year, 200 million people swarmed their local stores on November 23rd. We call that day Black Friday. Did you know that a flu virus can survive on the surface of a banknote for up to 17 days? One day, there will be a pandemic. It could begin during the crush of Black Friday sales. A pathogen will jump from tainted banknotes to human skin, onto food, toys, children, and loved ones. By the time patient zero feels the first sore throat, millions of people will already be infected. From this point, the breakdown will happen fast.
Day 1, hospitals will reach capacity. Panic will strike. Day 2, quarantine zones will be established. Resources will be rationed. Transport will go into lockdown. Day 3, international trade will stop. The oil will dry up. The stock market will collapse. Day 4, the power will fail. The shelves will be empty. The taps will run dry. And once hunger and despair take hold, people will do anything for survival. By day 5, everyone will be a potential threat.
In 2007, a new presidential directive was signed quietly into law. This maps out the government's response to a crisis, a plan to cope with a real dark winter. It is known as Directive 51. There are rumors of shadow agencies, sleeper cells, covert agents, but nothing can be confirmed.
Our complex world is primed for breakdown.
And once the chaos strikes,
There won't be resources to save us all.
the only question left is, what will it take to save what remains?
They said it was just the flu. But it turned out to be something else entirely. We followed our orders. Isolate the sick in a quarantine zone in the middle of Manhattan and stop the contagion from spreading. We started to lose count of casualties. We built a wall to contain the sick. But we lost control of the situation. And that's when the power went out. Rioting, looting, chaos. They ordered us to pull out all troops within a few hours. We left everything behind, in a zone saturated with contamination. We left our best equipment, our most powerful weapons, and the only hope for a cure. Few dare go over the wall. And fewer still come out. We call this place the Dark Zone.
It's hard to watch something you love destroy itself, to see it fall apart. Disaster always feels so distant, detached. Someone else's struggle in some faraway place.
All right, guys, I'm going to pause it right there. Look, you guys, look, I'm getting the chills listening to this, okay? Spot on, right on the money. We are actually going through this, and it's about to get worse. And I keep telling people, and it's like a lot of people are waking up, but a lot of people are just sitting here still being the same old typical bootlicker, thinking that the government would never do something like this. This video game was created years ago, but yet here we have this video game basically describing what we're going through and what's about to happen. Let's get back to the story.
It's not until it's in our city, at our doors, that we realize how fragile we are. All of us. All of this. And when it came down hard. And we fell. We buried ourselves in anger, fear, and the instinct to survive.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm just not strong.
Tragedy is invisible. People turn away from it and run from it if they can. And it's hard knowing that you belong here, that your purpose lies amongst all this pain. But someone's gotta be there to pick it up, to push back. Put the first piece back together. Put us all back together.
When our city started to collapse, the dark side of humanity took control of the streets.
Freedom is not a right. Liberty is not a given. This city needs an iron fist to restore order. There shall be no resistance.
All right, guys, so that was part one of The Division by Tom Clancy, which takes place in New York. Now we're about to take a look at the storyline of part two of Tom Clancy Division, which takes place in Washington, D.C. You guys, let me know what you think so far down below. Please pay attention. I'm sure by now most of you are like, what in the hell? All right, guys, here we go.
Washington, D.C., the most heavily protected city on Earth.
Within its limits, 177 foreign embassies, 550 elected officials, and 23,000 military personnel. In the event of an attack, critical personnel are evacuated, underground shelters open, while complex defense systems patrol the sky.
But nothing stopped the virus. 27 days after patient zero, Washington fell. It began with riots on K Street, then shootings in the National Mall. Troops withdrew to bunkers. Civilians were left in the streets.
America is on the brink of collapse. But some people have survived. Gardens grow on rooftops, their fences patrolled with rifles. In communities that live under constant siege, survival has taken the form of urban warfare.
Centuries ago, on this very soil, brother fought brother, spilling blood to forge the United States. History is threatening to repeat itself.
Now, in the heat of summer, 6 months after the outbreak began, a remnant of a corrupt state lurks in the shadows, ready to engage in a new civil war.
Agents of the Division are the only ones standing against it.
How could this have happened here? Of all the capitals, of all the nations on Earth, none more vigilant, safeguarded, prepared. Was it vanity? Bad luck? Or something more sinister? One thing is beyond question. This is where we push back. This is our defining moment. If we fail, our nation falls. We are the free world's last line of defense.
Please, stop it!
I never pictured my first trip to DC would be like this. After we survived the initial attack in New York, our capital needed us. But with the country slipping into civil war, who can we trust?
After months of resilience, we have survived the virus outbreak that crippled our country.
Please tell me you just heard that. Rewind the shit. Tell me you just heard
walls,
that.
it's perdition. And whatever you're doing out there, we're not feeling it in here.
But the fight to save our nation from total collapse is far from over.
Get down! Everybody get down!
Ruthless factions threaten to destroy the very fabric of our democracy. Roving packs of hyenas, religious outcasts, and depraved fascists prey on the weak and murder the innocent. For Division agents still struggling to hold this country together, it's time we kick our enemies out of their castles. We will not compromise. We will never surrender.
This is our defining moment. Our chance to take back our country. Our chance to shape history.
Terminate any Division agents with extreme prejudice.
All right, guys, so that is the Division 1 and Division 2. If you want to look more into it, go check it out. Read up on the story. Read up on Tom Clancy. Yo, look, we are living in that time, guys. I don't know how much more we need to see. It's here. I mean, we see them bringing in shipments of Humvees and tanks and all kinds of stuff, but yet people are still making excuses. Oh, that video was from a long time ago. Okay, there might have been 2 or 3 from a long time ago, but what about the ones that just popped up in San Diego? What about the ones in San Antonio? What about the damn tanks that were rolling through Northridge just the other day? Come on now. Wake up, people. This is going to get bad. This is some serious stuff going on. And I feel really bad for the ones who are sitting here with their eyes closed because you guys are just weak, pathetic ass people. This is not the land of the free and the land of the brave. It's really not. It might have used to been the land of the free and the home of the brave, but where are the brave? Where are the brave? Come on now. We got to stand up, guys. It's time. I don't know why nobody could see this. Well, let me take that back. There's a lot of us who can see this, but there's a lot of people who are still blinded and living in some fantasy world. I'm telling you guys, it's going to hit the fan. Here is a video game that talks about the virus, talks about the collapse, talks about the economy collapsing, talks about it being an exercise that they're doing. Come on now, wake up, people. I don't know how much more you have to see. It's right here. I get it. Somebody's going to sit here and say, oh man, but this is just a video game. AV, you can't do that. You're fear mongering, or you're making things up. You're doing this and blah, 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 blah. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. When it happens and you ever see me out there in the street, you're going to run up to me and say, I should have listened. I should have believed you. This is